The extremely dynamic situation and uncertainty associated with the COVID-19 pandemic is challenging. Conspiracy theories and a global misinformation pandemic are spreading just as rapidly as the coronavirus does. It is challenging to combat misinformation, and it's important to speak out and provide evidence-based answers. In December 2019, a new virus took an unprepared world by surprise. Epidemiologists, scientists who study the incidence and spread of viruses were not surprised at all. They were expecting it based on their observations of how humans deal with animals and nature. Epidemiologists were warning the governments and policymakers about this risk and advising them to have a pandemic preparedness plan. Viruses are constantly evolving in nature and finding ways to adapt to a new host. Virus hunters are scientists who search bat caves and bird farms, for instance, to identify potential sources of a virus outbreak, determine the risk, and work to prevent viruses' transmission. Wildlife markets are only part of the problem, and they are thought to be responsible for the emergence of SARS in 2003 and SARS-CoV-2 in 2019. Deforestation and intensive farming are also responsible for zoonosis, which is the jump of a virus from animals to human. In intensive farming, a virus can rapidly infect thousands of animals, generating millions of new viral copies, and thus more chances for mutations to occur. This is how new deadly viruses, such as the bird flu, have emerged in the past. The SARS-CoV-2 is the latest virus to cause a pandemic, and it won't be the last. Have we learned the lessons? 6 days after the first sample was isolated from a patient with severe acute respiratory syndrome in December 2019, geneticists, only in 6 days, announced the genetic code of the new virus, SARS-CoV-2, which is a new coronavirus strain causing the COVID-19 disease. Evolutionary biologists found that the virus is 96% identical to a bat coronavirus and 90% identical to a pangolin coronavirus. The new coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, is thought to have originated naturally from a well-known mechanism in viruses called genetic recombination, in addition to natural selection of acquired mutations. The recombination between a bat and a pangolin viruses could have happened in pangolins or another intermediate. Existing computer models predicted that this coronavirus would not bind to the human cell receptors efficiently, which is wrong. To their surprise, researchers found that this virus actually bound far better than what was predicted, likely because of the natural selection power. If scientists had to make this in a lab, they would never think of designing it this way. Nature always can do better. This is a question that scientists have some hypothesis for, but still have to answer it more precisely. It might be due to the bat's strong immune system or to the fact that they have a high metabolism, as they are the only flying mammals. The SARS-CoV-2 virus belongs to a well-known family of viruses called coronaviruses. Its genetic material consists of RNA, which is, in this case, formed by 30,000 nucleotides. This RNA is enveloped by a capsid, this is a corona of proteins, and a fatty membrane. Viruses cannot live on their own. They need to hijack a cell and to replicate inside the cell. So they use the cell as a factory to generate viral particles. then spread. Based on their previous research on other coronaviruses, such as common cold, SARS, and MERS, cell biologists were able to rapidly identify the human cell receptor ACE2 to which the virus spike protein binds, in the same manner as two pieces of puzzle. These receptors are mainly present in the lung cells, but also in other cells, which explain the variety of the symptoms. Structural biologists and microscopy experts identified the 3D structure of the viral protein, which is crucial for designing drug targets. Scientists from various disciplines, geneticists, virologists, biochemists, evolutionary biologists, immunologists, mathematicians, physicists, clinical investigators, and epidemiologists are all together in race against the virus spread. The global scientific community is bringing evidence-based answers at a pace never seen before.